and welcome to the 5th installment of the Jonesin on a Whim podcast. We are back in the basement of the North Estate Studios. I think the audio, it was better.
It's better down here, yeah.
So it's not a horrible situation. We're not complaining.
Not at all.
So, as we mentioned in the previous podcasts, we do have a website. That's what this is in coordination with. It's Facebook. It's www.jonesinonawhim. Actually, it's www.facebook.com/JonesinOnAWhim.
There you go.
Twitter handles, I think we all three finally have them. Mine is my full name, Harold North, with the capital H and the capital N.
And I'm Stefan, not Steven.
And not going along with my recommendation.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it's his name.
There's a story I'll explain at some point. Jimavelli. It's my go-to internet name.
You might need to explain that now. I don't know. That's
I came up with that in the mid '90s when I got to LSU.
Tupac was.
Yep, I needed some sort of handle, and of course Arthur was taken. I was ticked about that. Then Arthur P was taken.
Others, yes.
Then Arthur Jr. was taken too, and so I was like, well, I'm gonna have to mix this up, and so I put together Slim Jims and Machiavelli, and got Slim Jimavelli. It was Slimavelli, I think, at one point. Then I changed it.
Macho Man. Jimavelli.
Jimavelli.
Yeah.
With one L, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Jimma.
So I rolled with that, and I've been pretty fortunate over the years that that's never taken. So I
couldn't imagine why.
I had one situation. I had a time where it was taken though. I don't remember what it was for, but I was like, really?
A username battle.
Have you met my friend Jimavelli Daniels?
Right.
I was like, what? But it works.
Yeah. Well, and as we promised last week, we got the Twitter thing. Everybody's on board with the handles. We also promised sponsorship, and I gave Pitbull a call.
Oh, you called in that favor.
Yeah, owed you one for that.
Yeah.
That
so
one time.
He agreed. It's the official sponsor, and here's the ad.
All right, let me get this fired up here. Technology. Talk amongst yourselves.
Here's the ad.
I promise, there's an ad coming. Here we go.
This is your podcast at 30% with your friends. This is your podcast at 50% with your friends and their friends. This is your podcast at 70% with your friends, their friends, and beautiful women. This is your podcast at 100% with your friends, their friends, beautiful women, and Smucker's Jam. Now, this is your podcast at 150% with your friends, their friends, beautiful women, Smucker's Jam, and wait for it, my music. Smucker's, the official jam of Jonesin on a Whim.
So there you have it.
All right.
Yeah.
Smucker's Jam. They loved your Weatherman parody so much last week that they had no choice but to agree, literally, to be the official sponsor of Jonesin on the Whim podcast.
Like it or not.
Yes, now with the peanut butter. But hey, we're blowing up. We got the sponsorship now.
Props to Pitbull for that little jingle there.
He called in that favor.
Yep.
We just got to keep doing that because there's a lot of people that owe us favors. So
Right. We'll see who the celebrity guest is next week.
Yeah, right.
And it might still be Smuckers. They've been good to us for these 7 days.
Mr. Smucker.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Mrs.
Cool guy.
Yes, good people.
Kind of a cheapskate, but yeah.
Yeah, well, now they're combining. They're trying to combine your costs with the peanut butter with the jam.
You got to scale it down. Yeah. Fixed costs will kill you.
Two for one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's only a couple cents more.
Yeah.
So
Reasonable.
they're helping us out, but in many ways. So as we've done in the first four, we'll do in the fifth. We'll go over the mistakes, and they are lessening each week. So there's only 5. So quick run through of these. I mentioned an Aramashadu as a Minnesota receiver. I called him Ben Aramashadu. It's actually Devin. I think I was thinking of Ben Abamanu, who also played at Auburn and is currently with the Seahawks. And neither were the two of the former players that were murdered last night at a party at Auburn.
My goodness.
There's your downer segue.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can confirm that. Mentioned Terrell Owens having kids. He has 4. 2 daughters, Kylie and Dasha, and 2 sons, Tariq and Atlin, all 4 with 4 different women. I mentioned he played in the D-League. He didn't, but he did play in the United States Basketball League for the then Adirondack Wildcats, which then became the Jackson, Mississippi Wildcats. He played for 5 games in 2002.
So the Adirondacks couldn't handle a minor
heavy
league
load.
basketball team. Yeah.
Right. Well, they couldn't. It was the chair couldn't hold the heavy load of TL.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, dum-dum.
Wah.
But when we were speculating on how many starts Jamie Moyer had in the stump Stefan
Yeah, I guess
segment.
I guess 700
And he's compiled 638, but he's played in 696. So
okay.
there's your 700 right there.
that must have been what I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Right. His appearances.
696 appearances.
There you go. It all makes sense now.
That explains everything.
Right. I'm with you. We mentioned Richard Dawson in our tribute, being the host of Family Feud and also on Hogan's Heroes and the movie The Running Man. But he was also a star in Match Game and several other TV series in the 60s and 70s. I didn't want to sell him short. He was a star in his time.
No, I remember some of those Match Game shows, not watching them live because I'm not that.
I've seen a lot on YouTube this past week.
Yeah, YouTube and Game Show Network will play those sometimes.
Classic.
And, yeah.
They were all drunk and just
They were having tons of
no
fun.
holds barred.
Him
Good
and
stuff.
Charles Nelson Riley, the guy with the big glasses, and Phyllis Diller, and all sorts of characters.
It's really and some comedians over the last couple of years have tried to bring it back or had ideas of doing it. I didn't. Nothing's come through where there's no wheels in motion. But I think with the censorship on television, be a little harder. Mm-hmm. But,
I think it's a better format than Hollywood Squares, which has, I guess, persisted today. But that's just like you ask one person a question, they give you a stupid answer first, and then they give you a real
right. And then this one it varied. Sometimes it was a stupid answer all across the board, which made it great. But
you got to see them try to spell the answer, and they'd always blow it.
Right. It's actually good stuff. If y'all haven't seen any of that, the 3 of y'all out there, check it out on the YouTube or the Game Show Network. Mm-hmm. And finally, Art mentioned he made it over to Liberty Kitchen, who actually on their Facebook page today they posted a picture on their billboard, "Happy Birthday, Harold." So that's just a sidetrack. They're either a little late or very early for my birthday. But thank you, Liberty Kitchen.
Very thoughtful.
Yes. He went last Sunday for brunch, and I couldn't remember the head chef's name. Not that this is important, but his name is Lance Fegan, who I mentioned he's also at BRC, and he opened Glass Wall in 2006, but he's not a part of that anymore. And Glass Wall's still
never heard of that place.
It's a good establishment. It's I think it's on Studewood.
Do they actually have a glass wall?
Maybe they have some windows.
Yeah,
so.
okay. So
not entirely a wall.
They have some windows. You're really going on a limb there.
Right.
It's
right.
not
I said he was from New York. He is, but he's been in Houston since the early 80s. So, have you made it to any other places on the list? Art?
No, that's you didn't have Ruggles on the Green there, and I've been there too. And
yeah, because I don't like the places where you have to walk up and order immediately.
Yeah.
I like to sit down, have my wine, talk, relax. So that's probably why. The Ruggles over here on Montrose is just Ruggles. I think that's still open.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and that's a more sit down and more casual. That's a very good place. I may have omitted that as well.
Yeah, and then there's one that they're coming
Chewy,
up with.
no.
Chewy, no. That's one that they're coming up with right over there by Liberty Kitchen too. So
it's already over there, I think, isn't it?
But I don't think it's open yet though. Or at least it wasn't
another
open.
Ruggles?
Yeah, another Ruggles. Yeah.
Because that's also Glass Wall is on the same street as Liberty Kitchen. It's just on the other.
Okay.
So
good food all over there. Then.
Yes. So as we another weekly thing we do on the show. We're going to do the 51-second segment based on the 51st state that is New Orleans. This is an interesting one. I wanted to share with everyone because, well, it's interesting. And at any time we can crap on the Yankees, I guess, or anything associated with your Red Sox. We do. Apparently, there's an Italian eatery just steps from Yankee Stadium in New York, obviously. They're charging for the pizza, but they're also offering sex with the wait staff. So it's stadium pizza. It's right near the stadium there in the Bronx. Is that right?
I think the new stadium is
Harlem.
Not like I want to say Brooklyn.
I've been. That sounds right. It's a
the old one was in the Bronx.
It's a horrible backdrop. The buildings are so old they look fake. Like it.
Yeah. Full Metal Jacket style.
Right. No, it does look like a war happened, and probably does. But so this came to light through a former employee who was recently fired, and she's now suing for sexual harassment. Olga Contreras. Olga. She states she wasn't taking part in
like Vladimir Guerrero.
Contreras. She stated she wasn't taking part in the acts with a name like Olga. I can guess why. But don't judge a book by its cover. I've also seen pictures. So.
Oh, okay. Well, because I was highly skeptical until you told me that there was reason to believe that she wasn't involved.
Right. No, and that's fair. So. And now it wasn't a problem for her the 7 years. Well, she's been in the U.S. 7 years. It wasn't a problem for her while she was working there. But as soon as she got fired, it became a problem.
Ah, yeah, very convenient.
Right, very very coincidental. She says she's never prostituted herself, as we went over, but she did spot workers frequently giving oral sex and customers disappearing in the restroom with staff, which probably explains the oral sex.
So were they giving oral sex outside the restroom?
Right. So that was done in front of everyone.
Is it like a VIP
for the other acts, they disappeared into the restroom. She's been in the States 7 years. Doesn't know the language because that's apparently why the owners are saying she was fired. She came into the kitchen, broken English, said I'm hungry, and they fired her. So she's suing for
because she didn't speak English.
I don't. None of this seems clear.
No.
And of course the phones are broken at this place now. Ever since this came about,
probably used in some sex act.
Right. Well, it's also a 1-800 number.
Hopefully it was cordless.
Right. But she also claims that she suffered a miscarriage from her boyfriend from lifting heavy items on the job. So that's another part of the lawsuit. The title of the article is "Pizza has sextra toppings." So
clever.
That's one of them that they had in the chamber for a long time. Like, I can't wait. Sextra toppings.
The word extra and sex, but they put them together.
Genius. Yeah. Having trouble with the soundboard.
That's okay. I was too.
There we go. All right.
Hey,
better late than never. Maybe
the drummer
not in this
finally
case.
woke up.
Right. But that was, again, crap on the Yankees, I think. And it's not
it's clearly their fault.
Right. It's not directly associated with them, but, it's stadium pizza, Yankee Stadium Pizza. Mm-hmm. So it's their fault.
Yeah. Well, this must have been, since this was 05 to 2012, this was the old stadium then. So it was in the Bronx.
Okay. So, there you go. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I always like when I'm not wrong.
Right.
So that 51-second segment went a little long, per usual. But
not us.
No. Speaking of 51 seconds, I don't have a segue, but every week we've done an overview of the NBA. NBA playoffs.
Yes.
So, down to 2.
Yep.
My beloved Thunder.
Beloved Thunder.
Well,
they're beloved now. So,
Well, we don't want them eating pizza at your establishment. So.
Right.
That might have something to do with the team that they're playing in the finals.
Right.
Their elevation from well-liked to beloved.
And we've done the preview. I guess we've done an overview of the current state of the playoffs every week, and we also do a top 11. We've combined the two. I guess week one. I mean the first.
The first week before we had you and I picked winners of each series.
Right. Oh, yeah. And then we did the 11 questions. So we're doing that again. We're 11 questions on the finals. It's the Thunder and
that was a good time.
And Heat, right? Is it the Heat that's gonna lay down for my Thunder?
I'll say they're gonna lay down.
It's the Heat. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's the Heat.
Alas,
I couldn't remember.
I was disappointed.
Right.
But it wasn't unforeseen.
No, and yeah, it would have been cool to have an all Jonesin finals. Mm-hmm. But now we don't have to choke each other.
That's right.
Right.
Yes.
So we're all on. I think we're all on board in our rooting interest from here on out.
Yeah. Since the team I picked lost, so whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean,
they got old real quick, and then just got.
And that's what I counted on.
And they got pushed off the ledge too, because they were waiting.
Mm-hmm. And I want to, thump my chest and whatever, but we've got 4 games. Yes, we have 4 games yet to win before the ultimate goal is achieved.
That's right.
That's what we do.
So you understand that then? That's good.
No, and
apparently the Heat don't.
They
don't. Whatever.
And that's I'm loving that. I love that press conference last night. Giggles like 3-year-olds, and
they had the confetti coming from the ceiling afterwards,
and all that, and it's just ironic because Wade always calls out other teams for that kind of stuff, and they were pigs and shit last night, giggling like little school girls. And when the Thunder won, it was hug your mama, back to work.
Don't the Heat remember that premature celebration is what got them into this position in the first place?
Exactly. Yeah. Not 5, not 6.
Yeah.
So and I don't expect them to lay down, obviously.
No.
And that leads to my first question of these. This is the top 11. LeBron finally showed up, and I say finally, he's averaged 36 in 2 Game 7s. And obviously Game 6 was a Wilt Chamberlain-like performance. Mm-hmm. He's only the player to even come close to doing something like that. But will those 2 performances finally silence his critics?
How many cuss words are there in the English language? 10?
Quite a few, actually.
Now, all of those in a ball packaged together followed with a no. It doesn't mean shit until he wins a championship.
Totally agree.
He was cheesing last night. It blew my mind.
I know. I thought he was going to be. Yeah,
after Game 6, he was like, "Fuck this, Doris. We got one more game. I don't care. 45. All right." And then they were talking to him Friday. LeBron 45. Oh my goodness. I don't care about none of that. We got to win this Game 7. We got to go. We got other stuff we got to accomplish. Before you knew it, after Game 7, celebrate good time. Come on, hugging mamas, having a good time. And it's like, y'all gonna get killed.
Giggling.
They're like, y'all gonna get killed. What are you doing?
Schoolgirl giggling.
The critics got so much to say.
Yeah.
They gotta win. They gotta win this series.
Yes, he's got to win not 4, not 5, not 6.
No, he's got to start with 1 because that's all he can win this year.
Yeah, if he can get 1, then the volume goes down.
It'll go down. Yeah,
because now you're saying, well, you got 1 now. What are you waiting on to get 2, 3, or 4? Well, you can't say that in the same voice or with the same fervor as you say where are any of your championship rings. Because you shut up like half of NBA TV. Chuck, there's people on TV talking big noise. They can't say jack once you get 1 ring.
Mm-hmm. Right. What 1 is so much harder.
That's true. They have none of their own.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, 1's so much better than 0. And it won't be the end of the critics if they win the championship. But I can say this,
especially so these 2 games, we all agree, does nothing if he doesn't.
Well,
because Game 6 would have been forgotten if they'd have lost Game 7.
Yes, it would have. But Game 6 to me was the more impressive. And disclaimer: I didn't actually watch Game 7, but I got the recap
later on that on Whim of the Week.
Yeah, you'll find out where I was later. Right. But Game 6, which I did watch, was pretty amazing to me, just because his team was sucking that game. I mean, Boston was having a bad game too, and it ended up being a rout, in the end. But it was because of LeBron.
He finally realized, you know what? I've got a better supporting cast, maybe, but this is just like Cleveland. I have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I have to approach it the same way.
Yeah.
And he did, and historic performance.
Yeah, he was clutch those 2 games. So give him
Yeah.
props for that, but still stuck at 0 until
and I'll diminish it by not maybe if you could be clutch in the middle of the first quarter of an elimination game, yeah. I think my running joke with those guys is that they want to make sure it's over with early so it doesn't come down to a 2 or 3 possession game.
Right, and then
because that's when they clam up.
Right, but that adds pressure to them during the game. So that's when they don't, and they're already in a hole, mentally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
with that approach, and that's why these games remain close.
Yeah, but I guess just his demeanor was so perfect for Game 6, and it's really hard. It's hard to not get behind him if he were to play like that on a regular basis.
Right.
Minimum crying. You don't need 45 points, but minimum crying for calls. Just getting the ball, going for the shots that he ought to be going for. Considering he's one of these guys who allegedly stays in shape, works on his game, he's supposed to have everything. So when he takes a shot, there's no such thing in a one-on-one situation where he should ever be uncomfortable unless he has like a top 3 or 4 defender on it. And he didn't have that all playoff long. Mm-hmm. So he should be hanging out, getting whatever shot he wants. And Game 6 was the first time in a while where I've seen that.
And we'll get more to how he's gonna play down the line. Mm-hmm. So yeah, across the board, critics, they'll be louder than ever now. I think now he's back in the finals. So and we'll see how this plays out. Mm-hmm. So that was the first topic, first question. Number 2 on the list. These 2 teams that lost. There's something to be said for the makeup of the teams, and I didn't want to not touch on them at all because this could be the end for some of these guys. So the 2 losers was at the end, starting with San Antonio, is at the end of what really was a dynasty in San Antonio
for a long time.
Right.
I mean that they've been very competitive.
Right.
4 titles in the last 14 years or something like that. I don't think it's the end. I mean, Duncan probably has a season or 2 left.
He wants to play 2 more.
Yeah, and they've shown this year that they don't need him going 25-10. They don't need 25-10 from him to win. So I don't see it being the end. I think the other guys on the team got a lot left. Even your favorite guy, Ginobili.
Well, he's
34.
Is he?
Is he that old?
Because I think he came into the league.
Oh, he was older. So, yeah,
Tony came in at 19.
Yes.
Yeah, so we clarified that. He's just now 30.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's completely over, but it does seem like their window was closing, and this was the last time. This was the first time in a while where they looked good enough for you to say, well, maybe they make a run this time. They did a whole lot of resting of their older guys, and they still showed up and got old when it counted. I mean, Duncan had no lift, which he was never a jump out of the gym type player anyway. But now, I mean, a couple of those shots he got erased by Ibaka was just, it was embarrassing. Like, he rolled in there like, watch this, I'm about to get this shot. And Ibaka was like, the second time he almost didn't even jump. Like, he felt bad for him. Like he was playing against a little kid, and it's like, ooh, I should block this, but I don't know. Yeah, forget it, I'm blocking.
Yeah, maybe a respect move.
Yeah, he felt bad for him, and he still put it like in the 3rd row. He could have done him really bad. But Duncan will play maybe 2 more years, but that second one is going to be all mercy. Like, he'd probably be in a situation where he shouldn't even be starting.
He skipped games even this year.
Yeah.
You know, just DNP, old. And that's how Popovich listed him. But I thought the dynasty had been over as far as winning championships. I haven't, and this is not just because I don't like the team. They've had the best record in the West the last 2 seasons. They're a regular season team. That's fine, but that doesn't translate into in the championships, and they got swept. Well, they got knocked out last year by the 8. And I think if they'd have played Memphis in the playoffs this year, Memphis would have eliminated them. It's a matchup thing, but it's also a youth thing. It's a size thing, and a lot of these better teams in the West have both of those, except for the Lakers. But the Lakers have the size element.
Yeah.
And so it's been over in my eyes. Duncan will come back, and they'll be a competitive team. But the seasons of 1 seeds is probably over.
Yeah. They may be something like what's a team in the West that's always kind of right there, but you know they're not going to win? I mean, you name maybe like Phoenix a few years ago.
They were, right? The Rockets had been for some time.
Denver has been that team.
Right.
They're getting better.
Still, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they're relegated to your 4 or 5 seed. And
as soon as they play somebody that's not playing, they're going to lose.
Right.
So.
And this one's an even bigger. This is number 3, and it's the Celtics. And this is legitimate retirement opportunities here. Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett might not play anymore. Neither are under contract, I don't believe.
I think that's right.
Pierce has a couple years left. He'll stay around. But was that the last of Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen last night? Was that it?
You mean period?
Period. Are they going to just walk away? And it's not a bad way. It's not the way you want to, obviously. But they weren't beating Thunder, so
no. They would have liked to have another crack at it to just run everybody who even thought about wanting to root for them into the ground with another heart-wrenching type of series. I mean, I really struggle with those guys because they're the type of team that you know they're missing a lot of things, but you still want to root for them because of some of the things they had in place. But they're just too ragtag, and now it's completely over. They're not going to be able to pay those guys. They're not going to deserve to get paid. I mean, KG, for all the stuff he did, he kind of came unglued a lot of these games, and we had been talking about this during this whole run about how KG would get to the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden, that little 15-footer that he had been making, all of a sudden it stops falling, and you start looking at the stats, he's had some really bad fourth quarters over the course of this 5-year run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and last night the jumpers that were falling in prior games were not. And
you look,
stupid fouls.
They had a lot to do with resurrecting older people's interest in the league because Boston is just one of those teams that older people gravitate towards, and when they're winning, older people want to see it. So
hey, wait a second.
You see, you're from there. That's not on you. I'm talking about old black people. You want to excite old black people. Let Boston start winning a few games.
Wow.
And I know this because Dad's an older black person, and he gets excited when they lose. He's been a
Celtics fan,
and he's been a Celtic the whole time. But he's not alone. Like there's other people too. Just talking to those guys, when they talk about the Celtics, they don't worry till it's over. Like, if they were down 0-2, it's like, oh, don't worry about it. They'll do something with it. And I roll my eyes and then watch them win games.
Right.
And I was like, well, maybe you do understand something that I'm not seeing. Because they were missing so much. They fought so hard. And when you look at the classy guys that actually talked after the game that I saw their pressers for, I mean, Ray looked legit hurt. Like, man, we gave it all we had. We knew we didn't have enough, but we fought it. We had a chance, and we just couldn't make. They got to the fourth quarter and couldn't make any shots. Legs were gone.
They were done.
Mm-hmm. And it was one of those cases where if they missed a shot, you knew it was fast break time because LeBron, those guys still had legs.
And that's usually when Rondo takes over.
Right.
And he just didn't do it consistently enough last night in that final game.
Well, he needs to be on trial to get a jump shot because.
But he's had that in this in these playoffs. He's made jump shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a case where he has to get to that point where lagging off of him to a disrespectful degree isn't even an option, and now it still is because Wade is a defensive cheater by nature. That's how he plays.
Right.
Like he tries to do the makeup, come out of the blue video game block.
And he's getting too old for that as well.
Yeah, so he tries to get by with that, but if you start sticking jumpers in his face or not in his face because he won't guard you, then you got a problem.
Right.
Yeah,
but
he's more the opportunistic defender than just the straight up in your face.
like a man.
I'm gonna keep myself between you and the basket.
No. I'm gonna make you think you have a shot, and then I'm gonna athlete my way up on the shot block.
Right.
Well, I guess
it's probably over though.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics are.
Well, and it's more so
nearing the end, if not already there.
I don't know that. Yeah, I mean, then KJ, the Boston mayor.
That's so awesome.
KG, he's. I'm pretty certain him and Ray Allen are not. They're not under contract.
Yeah, I was just trying to look it up. I couldn't find it, but Allen, I'm pretty sure is not under contract. And KG,
a lot of.
You hate to walk away this way, but they gave the Heat, the second place team in the league after this is over, a hell of a series.
They did.
So, and had them on the ropes.
Right. Yep. They were up 9 because Brandon Bass played very well last night.
My goodness, yeah.
Did they do the thing again last night, not playing him in the fourth, though?
Pretty much.
Played most of the game, first 3 quarters.
And then they brought Garnett back in.
Yeah.
I mean, he was missing those turnaround, like, near the goal when he, like, throws it over one hand over people. He was missing those.
Yeah.
That's when I just felt like it's not happening. And that's when I stopped updating you. It's like this. And that's what I finally said. If you don't hear from me, it's because you don't want to hear from me.
Yeah, that was the case.
And then when Bosch started making those jumpers, that was the last step in, okay, well, Boston's been dealing with matchup issues the whole series. Now this guy's going to come out of the blue and start making shots and making threes too. Oh, well, that's completely screwed now.
Yeah, that reminds me of our test in 2010. I was like, really? He's going to make threes now?
No, that's what he does.
The man made 10 3-pointers the whole season. 10 3-pointers in the season, he makes 3 last night. That's insane.
Well, so I guess we kind of agree there. We're not sure how it will end up as far as contracts, them coming back, them retiring. But
is it going to be a slow breakup, like they got rid of Allen the first year, Garnett the next year, Pierce the year after that? Maybe so.
That's not a bad approach.
Because when you're paying that much money to your core guys, it's kind of hard to
build around them,
right?
Or build future, around them, the future when they're gone. Mm-hmm. Well, this question, the losers aside, we do have maybe about the best finals, I think, matchup that we could have dreamt for. Yeah. These are your top 2 players in basketball in the world, and it's obviously Durant's going to have his big games. LeBron possibly will, but the most intriguing matchup in this series. That's number 4. What do y'all think the most intriguing matchup? I can, if y'all want to marinate on that, I think for me it's going to be how the Heat try to attack or counter or just deal with Westbrook, the point guard matchup for me, because Chalmers can flop all he wants. I don't think that would be the answer for Westbrook with them. I don't think he can handle him. I think Westbrook will, as he's done to Parker, who's got the quickness but not the size. Parker's a lot faster than Chalmers or any point guard that Miami can. So I want to see what Spoelstra's got in his bag of tricks. I'm intrigued to see how they're gonna approach Westbrook, and we'll get to how they're gonna approach Durant later. So
Westbrook's obviously he's a matchup problem for anyone,
right?
I'm interested to see
because Battier's got to do something.
I think Battier's going to have to be marking Durant most of the time,
right? And we'll get to that.
But I want to see who's guarding LeBron by Oklahoma City. I mean, nobody jumps to mind.
I think
that's a good fit there.
I think they'll probably put Durant on him and just roll with that until and help. A lot of help to the goal. Ibaka will be waiting. For when he does drive to the goal and when he does post up. But Durant is long enough. He's not as big. No one is. Mm-hmm. But I honestly think they'll roll with Durant, and if fouls start to mount, they'll move Ibaka over, or because that's a question down the line is the Heat really don't have a true big man that's going to be down low. Yeah, the LeBron is that guy. Bosch sits at the perimeter.
Right. As seen
last night.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Durant guarding LeBron, especially for much of the game, is LeBron's so physical.
Right. No, I agree.
That's going to wear Durant down
It will.
If,
Yeah.
they're
If that's possible, they're the zombies. So.
Yeah, well, I've never seen Durant tired before,
Right.
so
He plays. Look, him and LeBron in big games. They play all 48.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you're right. Them chasing each other, bumping each other around. They're the best in the world. So this is a bigger task than normal.
I would love to see them going one-on-one a lot. But
Yeah, I think that's the matchup because I don't think this is one of these cases where you can automatically assume that they're going to cancel each other out.
Right. No doubt.
Because the way those teams are laid out, both of those guys can take back seats for 30 minutes here and there.
Well, and
say,
LeBron
all right.
is their main facilitator.
Yeah.
Where Durant isn't.
right.
For his team, he's not.
So do they take the approach of drawing attention just to get other people open to see what the other people can do? And then we end up back in this conversation about, can Shane Battier make a couple shots? Is Derek Fisher lying and wait to screw him again? Like, what's going on with the other people, and how much will Durant try to eat attention to open the door for these other people? Because Durant isn't going to be able to get 50 every night if he's got to guard LeBron the whole game. And
I tend to agree with you. I think Durant will guard him in spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it won't be his lone
His main
responsibility.
yeah.
It'll be certain situations when he does go down low to post up. It'll probably be off a pick or some situation where Ibaka or even Perkins can move over that and take that role, because they don't have a threat. They don't have a center. The Heat. They don't have a true big man.
Right.
Yeah, and you gotta have comfort. Well, but it says so. It's weird because that Thunder series said some things about Ibaka and Perkins, but it also said a whole lot about Duncan too, because it made everybody kind of say, well, the Thunder big man played well, but my goodness, Tim Duncan might be done. Now, how much of that carries over into this series when you're talking about Bosh and the group of random 6'8" guys that the Heat brought in for a bag of biscuits to play for them? It's like, what are they gonna do?
And Ibaka or Perkins will have to handle Haslam as well.
Yeah.
Just get a body on him, because of his rebounding. And we talked about the Anthony guy, the blood diamond.
Best actor from the
He's
Blood
a big
Diamond.
body as well. They just don't have
And a
the
big head.
offensive versatility to have to worry about them until they get. But Haslam has
Made a few.
got a jump shot.
Yeah.
But that's fine. He's out there. Harden can just brush him with the beard, and he can put a body on him. And I think Harden.
Who's going to guard Harden?
Right. No, that's exactly. That's the problem for the Heat all around. Is who's going to guard any? LeBron can't guard all of them.
No.
So it makes more sense for LeBron to when Harden's in to put a body on on Harden because of the quickness, and he just muscles to the goal. It's a matchup nightmare, and quite frankly I'm giddy like they were in the press conference last night to watch them just watch them. Watch how they're gonna even. It's a chess match, but they don't have enough pieces. I don't think.
As a fan, it was hard for me to watch Harden in the last series because he was struggling.
Right.
He's doing those 2
But
foot
the
levels.
late in games,
late in games, he had a couple shots.
Right.
But
he's in this league. He was the third
forward.
overall pick because of his defense.
Yeah.
He's scoring now. He didn't do that as much at Arizona State. So he's got that defense, and I don't
He's
get
gonna
back
need-
into my love affair with him. So
he's gonna need
this
to
podcast
have
will never
all
end.
of it.
But
Yeah, he's going to need to have all of that defense because there's going to be situations where the Thunder's not going to have a choice. They're going to have to go man on man. And when they do that, everybody's going to have to be top shelf on defense.
For the Heat.
Heat. Well, I'm saying when OKC on defense, they're going to have some man on situations, and they've proven that they can play man on defense against the teams they've played.
right. Well, because you can always those role players for the Heat you can ignore to a certain extent. They're based on where they are on the court.
Depending on where they
Based
are.
where they are on the court.
yeah.
And that's the difference with the Celtics and Oklahoma City. And Oklahoma City and many teams is their length. They can get to a spot with their arms and with their quicker than they don't need to be right on you.
Yeah.
They can cheat and they do that. They do that so well. And so I don't know if we really answered I guess
probably not.
Right. The most intriguing matchup in this series.
We are very intrigued.
Right.
We're continuously intrigued by multiple matchups.
Right.
Yes.
So, and then that's fair.
That's going to be a coaching chess match there.
There's
going to be some changeability during the game, you know.
That might be the real intriguing matchup.
Yeah.
Because Scotty Brooks is...
I'm not intrigued at all. I don't see that. I see him running circles around Spoelstra.
You would think so.
Because Spoelstra doesn't coach because LeBron and Wade don't listen to him. They do what they want to do. They don't care. They don't. And Scotty Brooks, they listen to what he says. You see that. It's translated in game. I mean, he's made so many adjustments just in the Spurs series after 2 games.
Yeah. And
it's shown on the court. And Spoelstra does. They don't listen.
Yeah, he doesn't do much in-game coaching. The most of the coaching he has is more what I call the administrative duty.
Well, I'd love to see their their practices because they just don't seem like a team that gives a rip with this little kid over here, this little Indian kid. Trying to coach.
I don't see him in a room pointing to somebody saying, "You got to set that pick, y'all," or "You got to box out."
He looks scared to death of his own players.
It's because he is.
I know.
Well, he's 12.
Right. So, but we touched on this a little bit with LeBron and his approach, but I don't think there's enough questions you could ask about LeBron. He will be the talk of this series, and justifiably so. Question number 5. He finally got on the block, low post, Game 6, Game 7, more so in Game 6. Size, dominating. But he doesn't consistently do that. Has his success in these last 2 games, will that lend more to him doing that in this series, or with Perkins, with Ibaka, with these big bodies down, with Collison, with these big bodies, will that discourage that approach for him?
When basketball breaks down, you become who you are. And so LeBron is not a post-up guy. He worked on his post game because somebody said, "Dude, you got to work on your post game."
Everybody said it because it's obvious.
And it's like, dude, you're 6'8", you're the biggest dude out there, and it's kind of like when you're playing a pickup game.
6'8's being
we're being
unkind,
and he's a monster.
Right,
but
it's more the width. That's
right. No, definitely.
But that's not who he is. And these games are going to break down a lot of times. And he's going to do that a couple times and not get the look he wants. He's going to get shit blocked.
They cry so much.
And he's going to cry.
That young, they're a bunch of whine. They're the Spurs. They whine. It's so annoying. Wade is the worst.
Wade is the worst.
And somebody pointed out to me the other night is Wade didn't used to be like that.
No. Because the league gifted him a championship, so he shouldn't cry ever. And the only fact that I let it go is because it was against the Mavericks. So I accept it. But I mean, he should never, ever cry. That's just... But no, he's the worst. And Chalmers, he flops more than a Spur.
Chalmers was...
He is...
that Game 6, but his shenanigans.
And they were up 20.
Yeah.
You got it, Chalmers. I didn't know your first name. You got it. You're good.
Mario, that's unfair.
Right. Yeah, you can stop with the...
theatrics.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You've won.
But yeah, LeBron, low post, I mean, he should be doing more than that. More of that.
But I don't see it, though.
I like the idea of him trying to develop that game as he gets older. That doesn't mean he has to go in the low post every possession did right now. Because for this series, do what you do best.
It's a lot easier to do it with people who are older, smaller, that can't guard you anyway. Right. And that's what he just got through doing in Game 6. It's almost like a bully style. But when you got somebody that's ready for you in general,
and somebody behind him waiting,
and somebody behind, like, go ahead and go around. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead and use your free arm and get around, because I can't wait to put your stuff in the third row.
Teddy Bear's waiting.
Like, I can't
Perkins
wait.
Waiting.
Yeah, Perkins is waiting. So that changes things, and so it'll be interesting to see if the demeanor stays the same. They were doing a lot
Mario.
Mario jokes.
Super Luigi Chalmers.
Sorry.
Look like LeBron and Wade like him just as much as you do. So they're cussing him out the whole game.
Not a lot of respect there.
No.
But yeah, I can say that that last series, cheering for Boston. When LeBron got the ball, I would always feel the best when he'd pull up for a long jumper.
Right. No doubt.
I mean, sometimes he'd hit him, but
most of the time.
And
when he misses, it's a long rebound.
If he got a head of steam going,
it's over. Get out of his way.
He's unstoppable there.
Yeah, And I do think the way you put it to light, I agree. He'll get caught up more in the game and not realize that he might be able to use that to his advantage by getting down low and posting up. But I think that really it might not work in this series because of Ibaka and because of Perkins. So I will discourage him. I think, and that's another edge to the Thunder because, like you just said, he'll be shooting jump shots instead of going to the goal, and his strength is going to the goal.
Yeah,
not his jump shot. He can shoot, but he can't. He shoots about as well as Michael did at this time in his career. Yeah. He hadn't
figured it out yet.
Right. He hadn't gotten to that point yet.
Yeah.
So
even Michael wasn't a big taker of threes.
Right. No.
By a long jumper, I mean like
20 Kobe
feet.
did that a lot more than
than
Michael ever did.
Yeah.
That one game against Portland because he wasn't missing. He didn't understand it. But if it's working, why am I going to stop? And I don't want to go on a tangent to talk about the greatest player to ever play.
Yeah.
That's how you feel about Kobe?
We might be seeing one of them. We might be seeing two of the best we've ever seen in this series.
Yeah.
But so, and I kind of touched on this. Number 6, the Heat, and this kind of goes along with number 5. They don't really have a big man. There's a Haslam's 6'8", but he doesn't play any taller than that. He plays about 6'8".
Yeah.
It's not like Garnett where he's 6'8", 6'9", but he plays 7 foot.
Haslam had a couple games against Boston where he had like 15 rebounds.
And Garnett's like 6'11".
But some of those were long rebounds, and it wasn't, and that's Garnett's their main rebounder, and he doesn't always put a body on you.
And Rondo's their second best rebounder.
Right.
Ridiculous.
There you go. And I looked at the stats. They were one of the lower rebounding
one of the worst.
teams. Right.
Yeah.
And not only the playoffs, but
in the season.
Right. So it's not a true measure of Haslam's size, I guess.
Yep, understood.
Yeah, I could see it being a bigger issue than it has been through this playoffs.
Because defensively, I think it'll be an issue. And will Bosch be a factor at all? I wrote this on Friday after last night. He seems to be healthy enough to sit on the block there or in the baseline and hit some jumpers even of the 3.
Yeah,
the variety.
But there's a certain amount of letting the cat out of the bag that you do when you come out there and you make 3-pointers when you've only made 10. So
that should be gone. Yeah.
Like he shined a light on himself. Like, hey guys, I'm healthy.
I do have this skill.
I'm healthy. I can do stuff.
Right. And but that'll force the Thunder also to pay attention to him.
Yeah.
And who will that open it up for at the block? LeBron likely won't be there. Haslam will be looming, but his low post game is pretty remedial. So
it's simple.
Right. Exactly.
It's got one move. And
right.
It's a pretty good move, but it's just
right.
Well, it kind of begs the question, and I'm kind of foreshadowing what I think here, but you're talking about big men on the defense side. You're basically asking what's going to happen when Westbrook gets by whoever's guarding.
Right.
Who's gonna?
Right.
What's gonna happen?
Right.
And I'm telling you, it's gonna be a dunk, timeout commercial.
Right. Dunk foul commercial.
Dunk foul, replay, jazzy music, score commercial.
Right.
Like that's what's gonna.
Pitbull commercial for Smuckers.
Yeah, Pitbull commercial for Smuckers. Like, darling, that's gonna happen. So it's gonna be a problem. This will be the second time it's been a problem for him. It was a problem against Indiana, and I really felt like Indiana had him right where they wanted him. Then all of a sudden, Roy Hibbert came down wrong on the foot or something, and then he didn't do anything.
Well, and in the finals last year, didn't Tyson Chandler have like 10-point games, which is unheard of?
Yeah. And that's after missing 3 layups a game. Right. That's what he does.
Dunks. Yeah.
Right. So I agree.
It has to be a problem for him this time because LeBron and them can't stop everybody from getting to the goal, like we said before.
Right, he can't guard everybody.
Right.
So no, I agree. That I think that's one of the bigger issues for the Heat in this series is that, and it was last year. Is they don't have Haslam is what he is,
Yeah.
and he's going to give you everything, but he's limited.
And then one more.
And Bosch is not 8. He's 7 foot, but he plays 6'7".
8, yeah.
And he plays smaller. He's not going to bang around. He's not going to... And that was kind of the second part of this question. Will he be a factor? I think he's healthy enough to be a factor. Scoring. but I don't know what he offers defensively.
Well, if they keep him in the role he's in now, he can still be a hell of a factor because he'll be playing against some of the second team people. And that if he stays coming off the bench and playing
starting,
they shouldn't do it though.
How many minutes did he get last night?
Enough to be
about 30 or something like that.
Factor.
Yeah, super sub.
I think he started last night.
Yeah,
I think, didn't he?
He played
because he was out there, and that was one of the first.
No, they subbed him in.
Texts I gave you was 8 minutes in. I'm like, Bosch is definitely going to be a factor.
Yeah, they subbed. So
it was early.
Subbed him in. Yeah, he came in early, but they used him super sub style. But
yeah, like Ginobili, 6th man of the year. They try to get him that every year. They bring him in at
playing
2
38 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Well, that award's always been kind of a
right. Well, Harden got it this year.
Most times it is.
He deserved it.
Back in the day, Roy Tarpley used to get that award every year.
Yes,
did the same thing.
Yeah, that's the Spurs.
Bosch should be a factor. But
life.
We're talking about people being a factor on defense. A lot of the Heat outside of LeBron, a lot of their defense is cheat defense and help defense. And it's going to be a whole lot harder to cheat and help on faster, more athletic guys. So if they screw the pooch and give Westbrook a lane, again, dunk, foul, commercial,
well, and
score.
now he's what I'm seeing, and it might just have been something he saw with the Spurs. He doesn't. Usually he's got the blinders on. Mm-hmm. When he gets around that corner, he's going to the goal no matter what. He's passing now. If there's someone cutting Westbrook and he's dishing, and it's an easier dunk for that player, and it doesn't always happen, and I don't expect him to change overnight.
Right.
But there's certain situations where he's doing that, and he's getting the assists now, and I alluded to it last week. If he continues to play like this even 30% of the time, and it ended up he did, and they did eliminate the Spurs, winning 4 in a row. But he don't have a chance. I mean, if that continues, they just don't. Of course, I'm biased, but
yeah, I think it'll be a more competitive series than that. In fact, I'm not even going to back off my initial finals pick of Miami over them.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
But and speaking of winning this series, these finals, there's obvious pressure on the Heat.
Woo!
Is there any pressure at all on the Thunder?
Hell yeah.
I disagree.
Hell yeah, it's pressure on them because there's a certain...
They're babies.
Yeah,
they're pups.
They're babies, but
they didn't have the best regular season record.
Yeah,
they'll have home court because they had a better record than the Heat.
Yeah,
but I disagree completely. There's no pressure, and that's another factor in this series.
There's pressure.
They'll put it on themselves.
Yeah, there's pressure.
But there's no external pressure.
Maybe not as much because of who they're playing, but internal to them, there should be hella pressure because they fought year after year with a lot of the same unit to get where they are now.
3 years.
And now they need to win.
Done. Not very long.
But knees get blown out.
They've already,
like stuff happens. People can't get paid, and people go to other teams.
No, but they've improved.
So
this season's already a success. They've improved from last year.
Yeah, but when you get a chance to go to the finals, you gotta take. It's not as detrimental as it is in like pro football. Like if you make it, the pressure is you gotta win because your whole team might go sign with somebody else.
Right.
But basketball is a little bit. You do get a chance to be good for half a decade, 6-7 years if you got the right type of team, and they look like they have that. But they don't need to take that for granted. They need to feel some degree of pressure.
I don't think. I don't think there's a lot of pressure. I mean, especially compared to what's on the Heat, you know. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they're one of those teams that's just happy to be there. You know,
they're certainly not.
You know, we've seen those teams before, and they get swept.
I think the Heat right now are lending towards that after last night.
The Heat are relieved to be there.
Right.
Yes.
Maybe not happy.
Well, they were giddy last night.
But yeah, I didn't see that.
Little schoolgirls.
I'm glad
like seriously, Wade, and they're wearing that jacket. They don't pull off the geek chic like my Thunder did.
So I think there is going to be some pressure because they are so damn good, and everybody knows that.
Well, and they'll be favored.
There's some expectation to win.
And there's a certain amount of the overthrow the evil empire too, because people are counting on them to screw the Heat again, where everybody can say, the Heat lost again, look at this.
That's nice.
And I think that'll be more. Well, it'll be more that they're better than the Heat, and also obvious combustibility that will happen with the Heat. Pun intended. I mean,
They're actually going to explode.
right. The heat is on.
Yeah. Where's Kenny Loggins?
Oh, I get it. All right. Sorry, I was a little slow there, but
They were playing that after the game. Like, really, guys?
Of course they were.
The heat is on.
On the street.
yeah, but I don't think they have a lot of forward-thinking, going on as far as this could be our last chance just because shit happens.
Right.
Yeah.
They're thinking not out loud, but they're thinking they got a couple championships in them at least.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
And if you just look at the two press conferences after clinching, the Thunder looked like they lost. I mean, they answered the questions. It's great. We won the West, but this doesn't really mean anything. I mean, nobody. They didn't say this, but nobody remembers the loser. Nobody remembers who won a conference that didn't win the title.
Right.
It's just, and they were all business as they've been throughout these playoffs.
And that bodes very well.
Yeah.
Especially considering their youth, but
Right.
saying all the right things.
No, it's unheard of.
Yeah.
And so I think there's so much pressure on the Heat, and it will be so obvious, so evident that they're gonna approach it that way.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to win, but don't add any more pressure on yourself than needed.
Yeah.
Because we're young. We're 23, 24. We've got all the time in the world to win multiple.
Yeah.
We're not going to come out and say 5, 6 because we're grown-ass men. But
Still, if the Heat split the first 2 games in OKC, there's going to be some pressure.
right,
Just,
well, they were down 0-2 to a better team.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. They'll be going to Miami as opposed to going home.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's number 8. Moving on. We kind of talked about this, how the Heat will handle Durant. We didn't get too specific. I think they'll try.
How about no?
Right.
Exactly. He won't.
Right.
Is
Get
that
that
an
on
option?
the board. But I think they'll try to throw LeBron on him as much as they can. But Durant, he gets calls too.
He does.
He does get
Gets
called.
calls.
And he knows. I mean,
He knows how to get calls.
He does. I mean, he's a scorer.
Yeah.
And he knows if he's shooting 5 for 19, he's taking it to the hole, getting fouls called, and still getting his 28 to 30
Right.
points.
Yeah. And I have no idea, and I hate we made it this far without having to talk about them, but I think we got to. We got to talk about the refs. How are they going to call this? Are they going to let them play and let it become bully ball, and then LeBron just goes booty bump elbow festival the whole game?
Well, it's kind of been the theme of a lot of these Thunder games. If it's not Durant, he just situates his body to where you have to, like, he gets under. There were a couple, more than a couple plays against the Spurs where he just lowers himself and comes up with the ball, and they clearly hack him, and it's just, you have to call a foul.
Right.
And like you said, he gets in these situations where he's not making shots, but he knows how to create. He knows he's 90% from the free throw line. Mm-hmm. So he knows, okay, I'll get my points there.
Right.
And he just gets in those situations where you have to foul him. I mean, there's no, if you don't, he will rise up and he'll make the shot.
I mean, this playoffs, the refs have been giving the Stars the calls.
Right.
Yep.
They've been able to get to line when they want.
And they've been caught up, and it's been home court.
They've also been really quick with the technicals. Now that the Celtics are out, hopefully they'll be a little less quick.
Right. Well, it wasn't either of these two teams that were getting. It was the Spurs and the Heat that were getting. The Spurs and the
Celtics.
And the Celtics that were getting the technicals.
The Heat got a few.
And Paul Pierce fouled out of a lot
you
of
just
games.
get tired of the crying.
Yeah.
I think that's, but yeah.
Well, Paul Pierce was who we thought he was. He was not capable of hanging with LeBron on D.
Well, and that's fair. No one is.
No.
Yeah, and that was the years where he got away with doing that. I think he was doing it on borrowed time. This time he was hurt. He was a few years older, and it just wasn't happening.
I'm a little upset at Doc about putting Pierce on him.
I don't understand
for so
that.
much,
right?
For so much of the game.
I never knew.
I know Beatrice is probably your second option, but
fine, use the fouls. I mean, I've never known Pierce to be a lockdown defender, much less guard the best player in the world.
Right, and definitely not today.
And he's already older. Are you gonna wear him down, even more so on defense?
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a combination of Battier, LeBron at times, and just praying.
And that's gonna be a whole lot.
Prayer.
Yeah, like please miss this shot. Oh, damn, he missed it.
Let's play some zone. Yeah, I mean, no one but Battier and LeBron are really long enough.
It'll be a lot of Battier.
Right, and quick enough.
Right.
You know.
He gets that shot off so quickly, and he's just taller than you.
Yeah, you don't dream of putting a guard on him.
And his
and you don't
he'll shoot right over you.
You don't put Bosch on him because he'll go right around him.
Right. Bosch is an intriguing thought, but he's not quick enough.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Right.
And
or aggressive enough.
Yeah, you pull him away from the basket on defense.
Right.
That's
right. Yeah.
That's a bit of a hole.
Right. He's your only legitimate 7-footer down that at least be in the way.
Yeah. He can block shots. He can block shots coming over on help.
Right.
You know.
And then you can't risk yourself for being sacrificed. And even Spo will figure that out after a couple of Westbrook dunk commercial situations.
He'll have a lot of time to stew on that.
Followed by Prometheus commercials.
Yeah. That dunk was brought to you by Prometheus.
I hate that song.
Yes. And again, it's LeBron, a little bit of Battier maybe in prayer. That's where we. And 9 and 10, I think we can kind of combine.
X Factor and
Unlikely Hero. I think you can kind of. That might be the same answer. If not, feel free to. X Factor. I kind of. You mentioned the coaching earlier.
Yeah.
I think Scotty is the X Factor here, because he's. I think he's a much better coach, and I think his adjustments, his in game, his players listening to him, will be the X Factor in this already intriguing, dream matchup.
Yeah, I mean, to look at it, Spo gets to call timeout. He gets to decide who goes in the game, and then he gets to drop.
LeBron.
I guess most of the time.
Game 6, he couldn't drag LeBron out. LeBron's like, sit down, Crumb.
Basically, if he had twisted his ankle in the last 2 minutes of Game 6, I would have laughed.
No, it'd be great.
That ain't right.
I know.
But
just a twist, not a break.
Right.
You know,
just a twist.
A mild injury.
Right.
He would only have 1 day rest. That would have been bad. But you get that, and he also gets to drop those cliches for TNT, where they show the "Let me show you in the huddle" with the coach dropping cliches.
And he's like, guys, what's going on out there? As a urine stream goes down his suit pant leg.
That's why he wears black.
Exactly. No, that's my X Factor, Scotty Brooks.
Yeah.
Scotty Brooks, that's a good one.
Cephalosca, man. We haven't talked about him. We haven't talked about him.
That's a good
one. And he makes shots and he plays defense.
He's going to throw himself at LeBron a little bit, too.
He makes shots and he plays.
Versatile defender.
He's their Shane.
Yeah. I just didn't ask who was going to guard LeBron because who knows?
It's kind of a team effort anyway.
Right. Yeah. Cephalosha will probably man up on him.
Which means more minutes for him and less for Fisher, which I think is good.
Right.
Yeah. All due respect to Derek Fisher.
They've mixed in DeQuan Cook a little bit to hit some threes from the corner.
Yeah.
We just need Fisher to make 3 shots he has no business making, or you forget, because those 9 points that when he scores, they count too. And nobody accounts for him.
Right.
But he'll make 1 in the fourth quarter. You're like, shit.
He did that late. It's usually of the 3 variety, but in Game 6, this last series, he moved in a little bit and banked some 2s in that he wouldn't miss blindfolded.
Yeah.
So, and then I like to see that because the 3 wasn't falling. And he's old and smart enough to realize, okay, they need me. I'm out here. They need something out of me. So he moved in a little bit and he banked in the 2s that were crucial in that clinching game.
My X factor is Bosch. Because you
should have been. You'd have seen last night at all.
Yeah.
Well, and in his defense, he's got the Heat winning. So
yeah, I do. Yeah.
So he's got to come through.
But when they were the big 3, they're. I remember when Bosch went down, we were all like, "Geez, the Heat even going to win 1 series without him."
Well,
and they
still had him going.
They were kind of up and down,
because of who we were.
We still all
they got through it with his help. Yeah, but I think if he's 100%, that could be.
Yeah. Well, they needed him to beat Boston, otherwise they would have been in the house.
Right.
So yeah,
I didn't think it would be because he made 3 threes, but
dropped
comfortably
19. Yeah.
Comfortably.
Because he was on the inside doing random baby hooks and stuff too. So it was like, come on, man.
And people forget how talented a player he is. He's just not. He's 7 foot. He plays 6'8".
And he doesn't need to get a ton of rebounds or a ton of blocks to help them. They just need somebody else to score 15 points.
Right.
And he has to be more efficient now too. Yes. Because that's something that in the NBA that maybe doesn't get a lot of talk because when you're the guy on a team, the ball's constantly in your hands, you get 25 shots, so you can just kind of take a couple bad shots. It's like, oh man, I took that bad shot and I didn't make it all right. Yeah. What else are we going to do? Well, in this situation, he takes a bad shot. It's like, hey man, you only get 12 shots a game. Right. They better be good damn shots.
Use them wisely, yeah. He was 8 for 10 in Game 7. So,
yeah.
3 for 3.
I
don't want to say it either. I don't want to. I mean, I'm mumbling too. I don't need to reiterate that at all.
Still can't believe it.
So Art, you're next.
So that was our what the X Factor is. I can't say his name. Cephalosal.
All right.
Skull.
It's a good one.
Unlikely heroes. We haven't talked about Collison.
I brought him up just now. Yeah. But that someone that's in the back of my mind as well, because Ibaka sometimes gets 2 fouls early. Collison comes in. He's a little. His low post game is better than Cephalosal. Than Ibaka. Ibaka hit a 10-foot, 12-foot jumper in his sleep. Collison can as well, but Collison can get down low
and get a good shot.
Right.
And like, hey, all right.
He's got a decent move, 1 or 2 moves down low as well.
And if you got to pick somebody for the
this team.
But if you got to pick the Heat somebody, Mario Chalmers makes shots.
He does,
and he puts pressure on defenses when they let him have the ball. But it's just some games where he just gets cussed at, like give him the ball,
don't let him touch it,
go away. And then when he goes away, they're like, come here. And he's like, well, what do you want me to do? Go away? Do you want me to come here? I'm the point guard. I don't even have the damn ball. Screw y'all.
Right. No, it's fun. It's funny to watch their body language during these games. Mm-hmm. It's hard to. What I like about LeBron and what a lot of these other superstars don't do is he's not afraid to yell at you, get in your face. And Durant does it, but not openly. And people hate on Durant for that. But that's just who he is. He's not going to call out his boy. Sometimes you need to, but he'll do it.
And you got to know your people.
Right, he'll do it on the side, and he knows how to deal. Westbrook's probably not going to respond well to being called out, yelled at during the game.
There was one
getting his ear
early this season. I think Westbrook had like an 0 for 12 going.
And Durant said stop shooting.
Well, no, actually he passed up an outside shot, a wide open one, and Durant barked at him.
Yeah,
he said,
shoot your way, shoot that. Right. So no, and he does it. He's just he's more subtle.
Yeah,
and that because he knows his guys. He knows how to deal with them. They're both leaders. LeBron, it's more evident, and that's fine. It's like you said, it's knowing how to deal with the fellas in your team.
Yeah,
and but to not get off the so X Factors, I've got Scotty Brooks. I've got Bosh, and you've got Cephalosal. I'll help you there.
Losha. I want to say Ska.
And then unlikely heroes here at number 10. I don't know that there are any players on either of these teams after what has happened in these playoffs
that you would be shocked.
Be
to see
unlikely, right? Yeah. That would be unlikely. I mean, they've all kind of had their moment. So I'm not sure here. You want to say, as someone who's gonna pick the Thunder, you want to say, jeez, now I can't think of his name.
Cephalosal?
Derek Fisher. You want to say Derek Fisher?
That would be very surprising.
I just don't know if he'll play enough.
They play him the whole fourth quarter, and I would have ripped my hair out. It's like, why? But he still the refs let him grope. They let him get in defensive. They let him dig in. So I understand Brooks' approach there because he gets away with a little bit more than these younger players would.
Yeah, and more important than that, you don't have a lot of bad possessions when Fisher is running your offense.
Right. He understands his role better than anybody in this series.
You're gonna have a good possession if he's in control of what's going on.
Right, because he realizes what he's got around him. He does he's taken a couple threes but they were late in shot clock, so he had no choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
So it was kind of the end. You're like, really, guys, this is where you wanted the ball to end up with 3 seconds left. I'll shoot it, and 50% of the time,
people see the highlights.
It goes down.
Make it.
Yeah.
My unlikely hero is Haslam. I mean, he was barely getting any minutes, early in the playoffs.
Well, that my lesson with Bosch coming back.
Yeah, with Bosch coming back, you'd think he'd play.
But Hazen was hurt,
and
going
therefore
into the playoffs,
he's unlikely to be a hero.
Right. But wasn't he hurt going into the playoffs?
He was hurt going into the playoffs.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, with Ibaka and Perkins, guarding the middle, that mid-range jumpers from the big guys should be there. And I've seen Haslam. Okay, this is years ago. Be a pretty. I mean, not a big scorer, but 14, 16.
You give him the shots.
Yeah,
they'll take him away.
That's exactly what the Heat need. There's little production from the role players, the support staff. So that's who I got.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still rolling with Chalmers for the Heat because he's disregarded completely like he doesn't exist. And you look at some games and he has 18 points and people don't talk about him. And I'm like, this guy's making threes, making layups, putting pressure on defenses. For the Thunder, I'm going to dig deep and bring up Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick Perkins was a player that I had he did a lot of crying, which something I didn't care for, but he was gritty.
Well, he was practicing with Paul Pierce every day.
Yeah, but as a Celtic, that really bothered me when they ended up trading him and seeing him land
for a bag of chips, no less.
For a bag of chips in a small bag.
Yeah,
it
for
was
a bag of chips with a heart.
It was half-eaten bag of chips.
It was stale. It was stale too.
Yeah.
So for him to land on his feet and get healthy and eat a couple sensible dinners during the time where everybody else was eating Cheetos, apparently during this lockout, and for him to have a decent season, to have a few good games, okay. The thing that, depending on who they got ref, and there's people who got vendettas against him because of his crying and because of the way he plays. Hopefully, if he gets to be in the game long enough, maybe he can be a factor.
It'll be a factor. I think it'll be a big factor.
He could really do some damage underneath when we're talking about the Heat not having big men. If he could put more pressure on the inside and give more shots to the Derek Fishers and the Cephalosius and open things up a little bit, because it's like, well, we were kind of just thinking let Perkins get his, but if his becomes 12 points, well, we can't let him get his anymore if it's going to be 12. We'll let him have 6.
Yeah.
He could end up being a change your defense type of guy.
Yeah, I remember 2008 and then 2010. The last 2 times the Celtics made the finals. With him, and then he got hurt in 2010. But
that was the big difference.
Yeah, that killed them. But he would have 7 points, 8 rebounds. At the end of the game, and you'd say, "Wait a minute, he was dominating the game inside." How was it only 7 and 8?
Right. Quietly.
But he can do that. He doesn't need the stats.
So no Royale Ivy?
No Royale Ivy. No, I just can't go with him.
And I'll stick with Fisher just because I think this is it for him. This will be the final games he plays, and it's fitting that he'll put a stamp on one of these games.
He'll do that and then go to being an assistant coach for that.
At least,
probably.
Yeah. And even a darker horse, Daquan Cook, who bailed them out, I think, in Game 4, with some timely threes early in the game in the Spurs series. But that's I think those are the two, a combination of those two guys.
Slight tangent. What the hell were the Lakers thinking about? Fisher at the end of his career,
why wouldn't the Rockets keep him?
Yeah, what?
Well, he didn't want to play here.
No,
yeah. I don't blame him for that. But what were the Lakers doing? I could see him not playing as much and them trying to put him out the pasture.
That said, the guy they got from the Rockets played significant minutes in the playoffs for them, and he contributed big time.
Was that
the young Arizona kid? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He played a lot.
He did
for
play
them.
a lot.
So, and that's a move you have to finally, they lost to the Thunder in 5 games or whatever. He wasn't going to make the difference.
No one was saying
no. So
that, yeah.
So that that said that
maybe they didn't tell Kobe they were going out.
Bill did a lot more for them than Fisher would have been able to do. They're not wheeling him out there to guard Harden or Westbrook. So
no.
It was the right move.
At some point they're gonna need somebody to coach that team.
Stud for him. No, that's
right now
that's a full podcast for another day.
Yeah.
But so there it is. Went through 10, number 11. Who you got? Will LeBron finally get his ring?
No.
Or the dynasty?
Yes.
The dynasty in Oklahoma City officially begun.
See this.
You know who I got?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll say so. And remember, it's 2-3-2 format, so it won't end. It sucks. It won't end in Oklahoma City.
Okay, so you're taking them in how many? And
you agreed
in 5.
In 5.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're going back. There's going to be 2 Sunday.
I would love for it to be in 6. So just that they could actually 4 would be wonderful, but
Don't want to be
6 would be
greedy,
cool. But 5, I think the Heat steal one at home, and they're overwhelmed, and and Durant's your MVP. Even if I just can't imagine him being not dominant enough that Westbrook or Harden could steal it from him.
Well, I'm gonna ramble a little bit because I know Stefan has some explaining to do. So
It's a lot of explaining to do.
but I'll say OKC too, but I'm not as clean on it. I think they're really gonna have to fight for this one, and this is gonna feel good for them if they get it, because this is going 6 or 7.
Series don't go 7 ever.
You mean finals?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think one just ended last night. They went 7. I was
I'll say the goal.
No, but if you look at the stats,
the goal
it's
is
usually 6.
Yeah.
yeah, but they want to make
Y'all
this,
and the Lakers went 7, but
Yeah.
that was rare.
Yeah.
maybe they can get something epic going because they've gotten away with murder with this playoff run turning out the way it did after the first round with all the injuries and the jokes and the who's gonna lose, who's gonna win, and all that, and you got Philly in the second round, and they had to be sweating bullets.
That
and then,
didn't go 7. Y'all win last night.
And just think if Philly would have won, how ridiculous it would have been. Like, they dodged a hell of a bullet not having Philly win that Game 7.
Right.
So now they end up with this finals. But again, we always talk about people writing legacies as they're occurring, and we're starting dynasties now. We're doing this in the question.
Finally begun.
Let's let these guys get 2 before we can start. Usually you look back and say dynasty. You don't usually look ahead and say dynasty.
If you get 2 these days, it is a dynasty because it's so much harder.
Yeah, even in the NBA.
I mean, the Spurs was scattered, and that was a dynasty.
There's less, fewer repeat winners nowadays.
Back to backs,
Yeah.
80s and 90s.
But the league is right for the picking for a dynasty to start. But I won't take that far. But they're winning this year, and the MVP is gonna be Westbrook.
Yeah.
They have no answer for that guy. He's gonna go completely off the series. He's gonna be the guy, and it's gonna be a situation where you look at the numbers, and the numbers are gonna be similar between him and Durant. But watching the games, his impact is gonna be like.
The last one the Lakers won, Gasol should have gotten the MVP, and he didn't. It's just that it doesn't work that way, and the fans vote, so
it's unfortunate, but I think
either Durant or LeBron is getting the MVP.
Right.
Well,
That's the way I see it.
I'm telling you, Westbrook is gonna be huge.
Well, of course he will be. That's what his
Maybe dramatically huge. So
whatever it takes.
Because there's no answer. Well,
now
we've rambled. Now we got some.
All these Heat are gonna.
Uh-oh.
All these Heat are gonna pull this up. I respect you for sticking to your
The
guns.
pressure is gonna create. Let me theorize. The pressure is gonna create a situation where they have no choice, and based on that, they're gonna win.
No, everybody's gonna break legs or something. For them. I can't imagine the other.
I'm not even saying the Heat need a big injury on the other side to win.
All right.
Let's see. I initially picked them in 6, which means they finish it off in OKC. Ooh.
It's okay. It's cool.
No, I'm just thinking
to flop,
this through.
To flip, to change.
So good. Flip flopper.
I say flopping is never okay. Not even
No, but Chalmers will do it.
Yeah, I mean Oklahoma City's quite a team, and one of their stars can have a bad game, and the rest can pick them up.
Yeah.
2 of their stars, I think.
2 of their
Should
stars
have a bad game.
Right. And whereas with the Heat, if LeBron or Wade does poorly, they're probably losing. So that's stacked against them.
Oh no, I know it. 5 games. The stack is high.
But all right, I'm sticking with it. I made Bosch the X Factor.
Who was your unlikely hero?
My unlikely hero was Haslam.
So Bosch and Haslam scoring 19
So your MVP
points.
is God, because it's the only way it's going to happen.
My MVP is dumb luck. Or dumb something.
Right, yeah. Dumb coaching, all of a sudden?
Dumb coaching, there you go.
All of a sudden?
Yeah.
This could happen. It's not an outrageous pick.
I've got
just don't see it,
99
though.
reasons, and a bitch ain't one. I mean, it's just, well, the bitch is LeBron, but...
That's unfair.
But he gets to this moment, and he he's never the reason. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, because Wade's hero ball shots. There's gonna be nights where he's dealing with people that can't guard him, and he's gonna shoot a fadeaway.
I don't.
Not in this series.
Those days are right. Those days are done.
But like last night, it was cases like, well, this guy that's guarding him is hurt, old, slow, tired, and he's still shooting jump back, fade away, falling on the ground, crying for fouls, and then the shot goes in, and everybody's like, Dwayne Wade is awesome, and it's like, nah, Dwayne Wade just made a bad shot.
He's a shell of himself.
Yeah,
and they're trying to say he's hurt. I don't see any injury that he could possibly have. He seems pretty healthy to me. His injury's old.
Yeah,
he's worn down. He threw his body around for 10 years. I mean,
going to this playoffs,
9 years.
9 years. I saw him as the kind
X factor, maybe,
the mental leader.
Right.
You know, the guy who's been there before, the guy who's done it before,
and he's hiding behind LeBron.
Yeah.
With glasses that don't have lenses. Let me add.
Well, easier to see through.
What's he gonna see? Yeah, hope he's not looking in the mirror. Actually, he needs to look in the mirror.
Oh. Yeah, well, Lupica called him out this morning on Sports Reporters, which is something I usually try to.
No, that's old grumpy men talking about it. That's awesome.
Because I like that show.
Because they don't care.
Because when you let Lupica on there, he'll call you out. It's like, well, he's not really conceding to LeBron. He's basically assigning the blame. Like, if we don't win.
Right, no, he sees it as an easy. Yeah.
Go ahead and blame that guy because, hey, I'm just robbing.
And he's done it all season.
Yes.
He's not tried to step in and say, you know what? I'm part of this team too. This was my team. This is my city. Nope. Deferring to LeBron because he doesn't want the blame when they lose in 5.
Which is the problem?
Miami in 6 and LeBron's the MVP. Somehow. Maybe I can play my own sound effects here.
It could happen.
That's retarded.
It could happen.
It could happen. I just don't see it though. The Thunder they've dealt with too much.
I don't even want to do the stump Stefan because you're already stumped. You can't even pick this.
No, you don't have to take that.
What am I, Nostradamus? Yeah.
Well, it's gonna suck when that's happened, and then we get to rehash all this. But
yeah, we need to erase this part in case. Yeah.
Right. So that concludes the top 11.
All right.
Where the sane people at the table are in agreement.
Hey.
No, I like I said, I respect you sticking to your guns, but gun to your head, I think you would not.
I was just playing.
You would not stick with that pick.
If I hadn't picked him that way early,
I wanted to talk a little bit about some entertainment stuff. And not really entertainment. It's entertaining to me, but I might save it for next week or post it on the page. Just so y'all can. All of them, yeah. You want to go to that because you have the soundboard?
No.
Yeah. There's a couple stories that I wanted to talk about, but like I said, I maybe post it to the page. The 3 of y'all that listen probably read the page, so it's not going to do us any good. Just to tease them, it's the cops pulled over a car in Chicago. I always want to dump on Chicago when I can.
Mm-hmm.
Not you.
A 3-year-old was armed and possibly dangerous. They had a 9mm gun. A mother was driving, 19 years old. I wanted to ask y'all this, if y'all knew this. The woman driving, Quishon King.
I don't know her.
Right, no. Well, she's black.
Don't look at me.
Maybe Art knows it now. All right.
I ain't been at the meetings.
All right. She was charged with unlawful use of a weapon, endangering the life of a child, and possession of a firearm without a valid FOID, capital F-O-I-D. Is that some kind of license for the firearm?
That's a new one to me.
Yeah, it's got to be
we'll
a firearm.
have to look that up.
Yeah.
But the woman, the kid's got it's a 3-year-old, right? Got a 9mm handgun with 8 live rounds in it. The woman's yelling "fatty, fatty" at the kid. I guess it's his nickname. Probably a chunky little fella. But
so
why would you yell at a kid with a gun? The kid doesn't know.
He might shoot you.
Right, fatty.
Yeah.
So Chicago still a dump. Just wanted to
clarify that. That's
right. Still shitty. People are still horrible. And then the PETA story. They're getting creative over there at PETA, which they've been in the past, I guess.
People eating tasty animals. Is that? PETA.
Ooh, no Whim podcast completely turned off.
It's actually
lights off.
That's a different PETA. Then.
Right. It's actually the people for the ethical treatment of animals, which we knew.
Not ethnic treatment.
Right, no, not ethnic. No, that's for the later. That's state of the art. But
don't bring up my.
They usually go at PETA.org, PETA. They're now trying another creative approach, PETA.xxx, to try to get the porn enthusiasts, because those are always credible human beings. You know, we want the degenerates to be aware that animals are being mistreated. They'll donate money.
Yeah.
So the only, actually, I haven't gone to it yet, but in this article, the only the truly X-rated content on the site is disturbing photos and videos of how animals are mistreated. So don't get too excited about it. Ron Jeremy actually is on the page. He does a short little video explaining PETA that is not how you explain it. It's more how we've explained it. He says this is for free, for charity, and what the hell was I thinking? But he's probably he's not killing too many cats, but he's banging them. But shout out, that was bad. They do actually have sex tips for vegans on the page. I'll post those on the.
I'll check it out.
I'll post this on the page as well. Basically, eat asparagus and cashews, pecans, and almonds. And
wait, we have 3 listeners. How many of them you think are vegan?
Right, none. But they do have. These are things you can eat that they're not meat involved. I guess because it's good. But
out of control.
Yeah, I had no poor way to say anything there.
I'm gonna have to look up this Ron Jeremy dude. We keep bringing him up, and I really don't.
He's not. He's the ugliest fella, and he's well endowed.
Oh, you bought that? That's good.
Yeah, no, I've never seen him either. I've heard stories.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither.
His reputation precedes himself.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just check into that.
No, we've never done that. So.
Yeah, wink.
We should. But on to lighter news. Segue. Taco Bell is Taco Bell. Like, this is where we go for debaucherous food items. We had a bad day, drank a lot. We go here for
Doritos.
Crappy food. Dorito tacos, which they've exceeded their expectations, which I don't understand how. The expectations should have been through the roof. That sounds incredible. Yeah. I hate myself daily because I've yet to try it. But they're going to roll out a lighter, more upscale menu to that of Chipotle and I haven't heard of this Qdoba Mexican grill.
I don't know that one.
Must be like a West Coast chain,
probably.
But I guess they want to expand the menu. It's more pricey. These items will be like to the tune of almost $5 a piece.
That's way out of control.
Some Cantina burrito bowl, Cantina burrito. They're not dunking it all and deep frying it.
Wasn't like their triple beef XL burrito like $5 or something like that? I mean, it's
probably
a lot of
all the grilled steak, or if you get the steak,
those get pretty pricey.
Yeah, still not. I don't. Yeah, they're probably like 4, 5. But that I'll pay for. Shit, that's why we eat it. We hate ourselves. We want to eat wonderful food that's we'll hate ourselves in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But so they called on to this Lorena Garcia. So Garcia, she obviously knows some Mexican food. She's actually a pretty popular chef. She's gonna be on Top Chef Masters this summer, which the wife and I watch.
I figured.
So that'll be nice to see her. That she ruined the Taco Bell for me. But I haven't been in a while, so this will keep me away even more. I like to eat healthy, but I'm not going to Taco Bell for healthy food. I'll go for, like I said, debaucherous.
They have their core audience, or their core customer base.
Exactly, and these that won't change based on this, but maybe their girlfriends will also have something. So that's just losing money for the fellas, because now they got to spend money at Taco Bell on the ladies too. So
instead of the ladies just not eating, which I think is what they usually do.
Exactly, right. So that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
More money for pot, so you can enjoy your Taco Bell. But not that I've ever, done that. I don't need.
We at Jonesin do not advocate starving yourself. Ladies.
No, never.
Or pot use.
No, we don't.
In relation to Taco Bell.
Yes, we need a hashtag disclaimer on everything. So that brings us to the Twitter segment, which I like to open with the Sheik tweets, just because they're starting to get these redundant, I guess.
The Sheik tweets?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's kind of.
We've kind of maxed out, but this week was National Hug Your Cat Day was this week, and today, and also National Running Day. They were both this past week, but the Sheik sees it differently for some people. So these were pretty funny. I'll run through these and move on. But just to bring light, the Hug Your Cat Day, which we need to get Kravis to the vet. We've learned. Yeah. And National Running Day, which we don't run. I'm in my off months. Months of Taco Bell and debauchery. But Iron Sheik tweets, today is National Hug Your Cat Day, but for the Hulk Hogan, it is the National Everybody Know You Have a Grasshopper Dick Day. Loves the Hogan. Loves Hulk Hogan. And also Tito Santana. Today is National Hug Your Cat Day, but for Tito Santana, it is a National Eat Taco Dick Day. Maybe he gets that from Taco Bell. I don't know. It might be on the new healthier menu. Is Dick not low in cholesterol?
Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
You got chicken steak or Dick.
Yeah. The third option now, I guess. Today, now we're moving on to Running Day. Today is a National Running Day, but we haven't mentioned him. But for Jose Canseco, it's a National I'm going to beat the effing shit out of you Mexican Day. So yeah, back to the Mex. I don't think Jose's Mexican, but I don't really know him. So again, the National Running Day, Jose Canseco. National Running Day for Jose Canseco. It's National You Are Nothing But a Rice Krispie Dick Day. Rice Krispie again.
Just one day?
And one more for Canseco for National Running Day. It's not that for Jose. It's the National You Are Nothing But a Jabroni Day. Better than Jabroni. I get the Jabroni.
Do they deliver mail on You Are Nothing But a Jabroni Day?
I guess so. I think I got some crap mail. Maybe some of yours too. Still getting that. But, it's all trash mail. But yeah. And then he's getting really, really lazy. He just tweeted OKC real, which is obviously true. But this one was really lazy. He just tweeted Taco Dick. That's it. Not at the Hogan or the
to whoever wants it.
Just Taco Dick. All of y'all Taco Dick. Maybe he's trying to, maybe he's on the Taco Bell. They spent a lot of money with the advertisement for this new healthier menu. Maybe he's on the board there. I don't know.
That's possible.
But other people off this. Well, the Sheik did also say he also has the hate for the Lady Gaga. I'm the intelligent real champion, not like the Lady Gaga, and. This is for you, Stefan. He forced Game 7 same way Hogan forced shit out of his dick. So interpret that as you wish. That's got to be worse than a kidney stone.
Yeah.
I would think.
Maybe a little mushier. I don't know. Yeah. And
cancel my trip to Taco Bell.
On the right.
And we're off the rails.
Yes. Took us a while, but we're there.
Yeah.
Good to know. And Nick Swartzen, who... not a fan of this show, but we're a fan of his, and he was in a movie we love. He kind of maybe teases a sequel to one of these movies. He's apparently over at Happy Madison, which is Adam Sandler's joint, trying to think of ideas for Grandma's Boy 2. Maybe we go to Japan. # robot vagina, because he always puts that in stuff. But the Grandma's Boy, if you haven't seen it, great movie.
Yes.
I think we all agree. All agree there.
3 for 3.
Yep.
And then a couple more, because this we didn't talk about it earlier, but this fight last night between Bradley and Pacquiao. Apparently, boxing's back at its best with the rigging of the sport. If any sport needs to get away from this, so there was some funny tweets that I saw. Marlon Wayans tweeted, which we love to crap on the Meta World piece. Only Ron Artest thinks Bradley won, which means if you think Bradley won, you're crazy.
Nice.
Trey Wingo. Wow, Bradley dominated from start to finish. Hashtag things no one said last night. This is a hockey one. But Lil John tweeted, breaking news. Manny and Bradley get into another fight in the hotel lobby. Manny whips his ass, but still doesn't get his belt back. Yeah. He didn't put that. I added that.
Oh.
And Talib Kweli Green. Is it green?
I guess he put a green on there.
Yeah, that doesn't seem...
That doesn't seem
no,
right.
like it's just Talib, yeah. Bradley said he had to check the tape. Talib recommends just check Twitter. Because, yeah, it was a lot of tweets as in this. And then Kevin Smith from Mallrats and Clerks and Home Run LSU. Sweet. Crom, you heard my plea. The NHL Devils have broken the Kings road rage streak on home ice. Game 6 on Monday. Believe in Brodeur. So he's a big Devils fan. Big fan of the show. Eventually.
One day.
So
They're working on it.
Right. So that brings us to... Is it Stump Stefan already?
I think so.
I hope it is.
so.
I hope it is.
Yeah.
We got your choice
Choices of
How to be
categories.
stumped.
this week. So, and we'll probably go through all of them. So, pick which one you think.
What were the categories you were talking about?
There, yeah. We've got this week. We've got baseball, basketball.
Yeah.
So, Major League variety, National Basketball Association variety,
Okay.
hotness variety.
Yeah.
Sorry, distracted. The window's open. Horse racing and NHL hockey. I might have asked this week one, so I don't think I did.
Oh.
So, but those are your 4 choices. How would you like to not be stumped this week?
Let's take a shot at basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Lowering expectations.
This was the one that I dug through a lot of stuff to try to find an answer to this one. I think I did, because it seems like 1996. I think we talked about this Thursday night. 1996 is they either started doing certain stats or started taking certain stats, but the answers I got were at least going back to 1996. This is what. So this is a Spurs question, which I'm more than glad to ask now. They were eliminated by my
Beloved.
beloved. Yes, good. Another MILF. Possibly. But so in Game 6, Tony Parker finished with 21 points and 10 assists in the first half. So at least going back to 1996, no players had 20 and 10 in a half. So
True. Yes.
I think
All
so.
right, unstumped.
Damn it. So
We're never gonna stop.
actually, this is the two-parter.
Okay.
So the most points a player has had was 16 with the 10 assists.
With the 10 assists.
Who was this player?
Going back to 96. Let's see here. 16 and 10, huh?
And I have a quarter one if you'd rather do the quarter. Like in a quarter, because Parker had 17 and 5 in one quarter.
Oh, wow.
And only one player's done that.
Okay.
And I don't think that was playoffs. So you have a quarter question and a half question each. So it's 2 different players.
I see.
I can give you the years if you'd like.
No, I'll take a shot here. 16 and 10 in a playoff series.
Correct. Both.
So any round.
Both playoffs.
Man.
So I mean,
10, crap loads of assists. And
I don't know how that.
he wouldn't have asked a Steve Nash question, I'm pretty sure.
I hope not.
Man.
I'm trying to find the thought music. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember
So
what
I
that
can keep thinking that.
Right, I don't remember what that one's under. No, definitely. There's no. Where was that one? Was that on the? think I'm getting the treatment you got from the internet.
Yeah. All right. Take a guess.
For the
half, 16-10. Chauncey Billups.
I don't have the sound effects that say you're wrong, but you would,
a simple wrong would suffice.
But good call.
We are now dumber for having heard that.
You would think Billups. I see that.
That's a fair.
That's my boy.
I was trying to play the questioner.
Right. Okay. So basically, I can for the half.
Okay.
It was the year was eluding me.
You and your 4 pieces of paper.
The year was 2000, and it was 16 points and 10 assists and a half. 2000.
16 points, 10 assists.
The quarter. We'll go on to that.
I'm sorry.
We'll go on to the quarter. The 17 and 5. Only 5 assists in the quarter, but it's a different person.
Okay.
So 16 and 10, 2000. This point guard. Playoffs. Who played who? I guess were they? No, maybe not. They weren't. I don't even know if he was with that team at that time. Thinking too much, probably.
Probably. Jason Kidd.
There you go.
All right.
Ding. All right. So, I guess he was with the Nets then, or was he?
Yeah, probably.
That was when they started their run of 4 losses in a row.
Yeah.
Bills style.
Yeah. The reason I didn't guess Kidd at first was I can't remember a game where he scored 16 points.
Right.
Let alone a half.
Yeah, no, and because especially in 2000, he scored a lot early on. But okay, so the quarter, 17 and 5 was 2007.
17 and 5.
In a quarter, 70
07.
points, 5 assists, and it was the 4th quarter that this occurred.
Oh wow!
Probably.
So it was a clutch quarter. Let's see, 07. You said, huh?
Yes. He was probably on our top 10. Both of our top. Maybe just mine. No, probably both of ours.
Darren Williams?
That is correct.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
I don't have my correct. That's the wrong one. That's wrong too.
Oh, no.
You soundboard is
Tough crowd.
And all right, so the baseball one I thought was cool.
Okay.
And once you'll see why I think if you know this about me. But
go to it.
But baseball one, Bryce Harper. He had the walk-off hit, I guess, this past week. As a 19-year-old.
Yes.
He was the first teenager to do this since this man. And I can give you the year if you want the year.
Yeah, give me the year.
1988.
Oh, is that, let's see.
I can tell you he played for it, too. I think I know.
Griffey?
No. I can tell you he played for it, which might not help. It'll help you. It would help me.
Yeah.
It might not help regular other people.
19-year-old with a walk-off in 88.
Teenager, yeah, so probably.
Yeah.
September 9th, 1988. And I believe, I can tell you the team if you want that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Played for the Brewers.
Oh, Molitor?
No.
No, he's older than that.
He's one of the last real Triple Crown. I think that with the Brewers,
Sheffield?
Yeah, Gary Sheffield.
Gary Sheffield.
My favorite baseball player.
Yes.
So, love that swing.
Yeah. That stance there.
Yeah, right. It's badass. So another stump again.
Yeah, missed that one.
But now you horse racing was because this unique situation this week.
Oh, yeah.
With the horse running the first 2, not being able to run the third. Last time that happened.
1936.
You saw that.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Name of the horse.
My ass hurts. How's that?
Bull Venture. So if you were gonna, it could be if you had a Bull Venture on the Gaiety. It might be
hanging out with the sheep.
Right. Old Country Way.
If I get rich enough to have a horse, I'm gonna name it My Ass Hurts.
There you go. I'm on board. Not for the ass hurting, but the horse venture.
No,
the bold venture of buying a horse.
The horse's ass won't actually hurt. That'll just be his name.
And then you probably, I know we did hockey the first two.
Yes, we did.
So the Kings were up 3-0, right? It's now 3-2.
No, 3-2. Yep.
Last team in the finals. It's come back from 3-0. Did I ask that?
No one's ever done it in the finals.
No?
Yeah, you did ask me the 3 teams that came back from 3-0 to win a playoff series in hockey.
In the finals? You sure nobody's done it?
I'm pretty sure nobody's done it. It was like the Islanders had done it to Detroit, and Philly did it to Boston.
Because I might have to look it up then.
Yeah.
But my sources say
your source.
Toronto did it in 1942.
Oh, and that was in the finals?
Right.
Okay.
But were they doing best of 7 in 42?
Ugh. I think they were, yeah, because it was a comeback from 3-0. I just didn't know that it was the finals. Okay.
Is it?
I don't know.
No, yeah.
No, it's.
Well, I'm glad you didn't pick
Internet's
hockey.
not going anywhere. Yeah.
You gotta turn it off, turn it back on.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
it's been a pain in my ass too.
See, it's my horse.
There you go. Well, was that the actual?
Pain in my ass. Or...
Was it something like that?
Ridiculous.
Have to rewind the tape to see what it actually.
Yeah.
Something in your ass, but that's not good. I've seen those. I lost my. We have a new segment I wanted to introduce. If I can find anything relevant. I can wing it, but we all know how that goes. It's the new state of the art segment. Art, the Black Iron Man.
I don't get it.
Right? Other member, I've seriously lost it all. But, oh wait, here it is.
Let the record reflect I had no warning of what I'm about to be asked. Black people, I don't know.
I don't even know if we... and that's it's I'm glad you mentioned that in that way, because that we as white people and as many of our probably the 4 or 5 listeners are probably also white as well. We
Sharita listens.
I think.
I think so.
Probably no, she shouldn't. And I've mentioned here that maybe bring her on to also give her perspective. But y'all are a unique race, in so many, and
that's fair.
As a white person, that I am. A lot of my friends think I tend to lean towards your race over my own, but I really don't understand y'all, and I want to, and I want our listeners to, and I want Stefan too.
Okay.
So, and you have a good, you have your hand on the pulse, or what's that saying? I couldn't think of it. Something on the pulse, finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
Finger on the
hand
pulse.
on the pulse, finger on the pulse.
Finger.
To that, as being one of that race.
How racist is this segment?
I know. I'm trying not to. It's the ending is real bad.
Oh, okay.
Well. But it's just the first installment.
At least we're
I have not
now.
been able to work on this, so it's just a teaser to what it will be down the line. It will get more serious. So let's see where I am in my.
I think I'm ready.
The hole I dug. Let's see,
I'm not sure
I can still see the sunlight. No. So the way I wrote it was, I haven't completely decided about how I wanted to do this segment, but we have a segment for Stefan, and clearly I have to read all these notes. So I have my segment. So I wanted a third segment for the. I didn't want to leave you out or.
Yeah.
The NCAA and NAACP will show up at my door. So, but if they even listening. Again, digging with the hole.
Yes.
But like I said, the majority of our audience is white, probably. Yeah. And we don't know the state of the African American race in general.
Yeah.
So, you're missing the meetings. Want you to get back to those. You are one of our few conduits.
I know I gotta get back in these meetings.
So,
I know.
And you're a Black Iron Man, You represent this podcast. So like I said, we'll keep it simple this week. So the first installment, State of the Art, which will be more so state of just... You got the president now, I mean,
No, I'm working on that.
That'll be... Well, no, we got that. Chicken, why do y'all love it?
Man, chicken is great. Shit.
No, Nah. Again, it'll be just a teaser. It'll be like that. And actually, somebody tweeted. I think it might have been Marlon Wayans. Like, chicken, go eat. No, it's Donnie Jones. Like, tweeted today. Chicken, go eat it, y'all. It's like, Donnie Jones, really? He had like a picture or something. But no, I clearly have no true vision on what I want to do with this segment.
My general understanding for chicken is that it was most likely easy to obtain and cheap, and it was a meat of some sort that could be eaten, easy to prepare.
You could eat every part.
You could eat every part. So efficiency. So from
and again, that was more a joke. I know we all eat it. I got my.
But chicken is great. Everybody likes chicken.
It's
chicken
and
dinner.
And that's what I don't understand. That's what I want to get into is why is that something that's put on y'all when we all eat it?
I think black people were just reaching. They needed to have something, and at the time, chicken was available for some reason. And
it might be us guilty of doing that. 'Cause like I said, I enjoy it. I'm gonna have some tonight. Rotisserie variety.
Well, there you go.
You know,
Buffalo style.
Right. I mean, I don't understand why. It's odd. Maybe like pork paws or whatever. Hock. That stuff. That's unique. We're not.
Yeah, I don't even.
Jars of that are all over, pickled everything, but chicken is universal. We all. I didn't get it. I don't get it. We all eat that.
Yeah.
So again, it'll be a little more informative, a better approach next week, but
we'll be all right.
Yeah. So Black Iron Man.
I looked up your hockey.
So
you were right. It was the 42 finals. Toronto over Detroit, and then Islanders beat Pittsburgh.
So was it 7? Okay.
It was 7 games. Yeah.
So okay. Well, I wasn't right. It was just the person on
hard to
Wiki.
Come back,
you never know.
Hard to come back from down 3-0 in a five-game series. Yeah.
It is. Well, no, very true. But I mean, I didn't. Maybe I read it. Maybe it was too well. Maybe I read it wrong.
No, I know.
I'm always ready to take the blame. Cause
you are correct, sir.
Probably, very, very likely I'd be wrong. But in Toronto, so that was Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Did they still have a?
Yes.
Okay.
Still have a team.
Okay. That's a long time.
Actually, so does Detroit, Islanders, Pittsburgh. Yeah.
What up? Canada lost to the Kings. They lost their team. Right?
Well, Vancouver lost the Kings in the opening round this year.
Well, no, just their franchise. Edmonton.
Edmonton, yeah.
Oilers
became the Kings, I think.
Right. Because Gretzky won there, but not.
Or no, wait, no, they didn't become the
Didn't
Kings.
They?
No, they.
Because Gretzky played for both those.
Gretzky just left the Oilers for the Kings. Yeah, they didn't become.
Okay.
I think they were an expansion team.
Okay. No, they were. You're right. I did read that. 67, 68 season, something like that. Okay, yeah. All right, so final segment. I was going to, again, the tribute. I have that. I wanted to do the Arthur Bradbury tribute.
Ray Bradbury.
It's Arthur Ray, I think.
Oh, really? Was that his first name, Arthur?
So. Maybe, I don't know. Again, with the stumping myself. But that's another one I'll post on. It's Ray Douglas Bradbury. Awesome. All right, so author of Fahrenheit 451, inspirational writer, inventive, creative. One of the few books I've read. But this literally
it's nice and short
because it was about burning books, ironically. So
I'll read this one.
Right, this is the last one I'll have to read.
Maybe it's like a how-to manual.
Fruition. But he had some incredible foresight, like stuff in his books where the ATMs years ago, Bluetooths, what he saw 30, 40 years ago actually came to be, and I just wanted a quick tribute to that. But our actual final segment.
Actually, sorry.
No,
interjecting.
Please.
Yeah, with Fahrenheit 451, probably his most famous work. It's more of a political statement,
right?
Than science fiction. There's nothing, technologically cool.
It was a societal thing, right?
It's totally a societal thing. That frowns on reading, and to the point where firemen start fires.
Right.
To burn the books.
Turn the television off. Read the book.
Right.
And that's what's. To use the same term as I did prior, was the irony was that when he was talking poorly, I guess not poorly on technology, but when he was writing about it, taking away from reading, he came up with these ideas in his books, like the ATM and the Bluetooth that we used, and I guess I'm not sure that's the root of where those ideas came from. But,
maybe not, but
but put some ideas in people's heads.
Yeah.
So, great author. 92, long run. I'd die for that, literally.
You would die to live to 92.
Right, yeah, you know.
They worked that one over.
There you go. Yeah. For next week, I'll have that fixed. But another new segment. Segue. Whim of the week. Since we're Jonesin on a whim, you had a new experience.
Oh yes.
For you, I've done it before. I've loved it. Mm-hmm. The roller derby.
Houston roller derby. Yeah.
You wanted to go so direly that you missed your game 7 of your beloved Celtics.
Yeah.
So did it build what the build up? Did it come through? Was it worth it?
I think it came through. Yeah,
it wasn't worth it for me. I had to text every 30 seconds to update you.
No, I was well informed about the game, so that wasn't a problem.
Brendan Pash just scratched his balls twice.
But it was it's a relatively small arena, and there wasn't any protection for the fans, other than
I've heard they do fly into
a few feet of space, and of course the ladies are trying to knock each other out of bounds, as they run around, skate around the track. But it was good. I mean, there were 2 bouts. They don't call them matches; they call them bouts.
Right.
And the first one was kind of the amateurs, the local Houston team versus a Dallas team.
So all the bartenders.
Yeah. And some of the girls out there, especially for the Dallas team, were bigger than me.
Yeah.
I'm a big guy. These women were well over 300.
300?
300.
Wow.
Yes.
When I went there, actually, at least you were hoping a titty would fall.
Right. You were not hoping for that. Yeah. But it's a lot of fun just for the names, that they come up with, and that they all have aliases, kind of like He Hate Me on
they do.
XFL.
I'm huge. I am huge.
The biggest one, her name was Massey Graves.
She still playing?
You know her?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That was one, but now there's a collection of elephants. I didn't know.
Right. Elephants. But you could tell the difference between that bout and the second one, which was the traveling team.
Oh, they moved quicker.
Houston one and
the
other
scoring
one was from St. Louis.
Really, St. Louis?
Yeah.
So they're expanding. Nice.
Yeah, and they were athletes. They were flying around, but they had great nicknames like Chublaka. I thought you might like that one. Nice. And the fan favorite for Houston, her name was Death by Chocolate.
Was it the little Asian girl?
No, she's black.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And she wears number 69. So apparently,
so she's embracing.
Yeah, she was intense. She would skate by players on the other team and then turn around and give them trash talk or gestures.
So she was comfortable.
Yeah.
On the rink, I guess is what it.
Whatever they call it, the pad. Yeah. So I'm glad I did that. Sorry to miss the game, but given the result.
No, and I was happy to have to watch it for you because I was, although I was rooting for the Celtics. Game 7s like that, they're really not worth watching in their entirety, especially when your rooting interest is that strong. Mm-hmm. Just give me the last 3 minutes. And hope it's close.
It's tough to endure. Yeah, right. Sometimes. Yeah.
But no, they do that roller derby. I think it's now once a month.
Yes.
I do want to check it out at the Bayou Center because it's probably a bigger layout. When we went, it was at Kicks right over here. Oh, okay. So it's much smaller.
Yeah. I think the next one's July 21st.
Right. It's in
at Bayou.
Month of once every year. And the wife enjoyed it, so it's a cheap. Was it $15?
$15. Yeah.
Beers are still your standard.
Yeah, standard arena prices.
Right. Yeah. I like the Bayou Center over there, formerly Verizon. Mm-hmm. So, but other than that, I think if we have anything to add.
Yeah, Art.
Eat some chicken, Eat some chicken, apparently.
We've had the ribs already.
Eat some chicken with rib meat. They do sell that, the frozen.
Do they?
Yeah, chicken with rib meat.
Is it like infused into the chicken?
It must be. It's all delicious.
I don't know about that.
Well, but obviously.
Right.
Well, next week we'll be 2 games in.
2-0.
Yeah, it starts Tuesday.
Yeah, so we got Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday until it's over.
3 games in, right? Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday?
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Are they doing that?
It's Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday until it's over.
Oh, yeah.
Because they travel in between.
Right,
So it's,
yeah. Because it's 3.
Yeah. And I'm out next week. I'll be in Colorado. So I don't know if you want to have a guest.
The less the merrier.
Or just tell him to.
Well, it's better off because they'll be 2-0 and winning game 3, so he won't have to eat crow.
yeah.
In person.
What a relief! I can eat crow.
Right.
The next week
in Colorado. But the crow was delicious.
I have 2 weeks to build up a tolerance for crow.
Right. Hey,
we're pouring it on thick if they come out and they like hate Kendrick Perkins, and based on that they call a million fouls.
They have Muhammad on the bench ready to be 7 foot in your way. So
yeah,
I'm obviously
he'll
you can tell I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, he'll give you 6 fouls.
Yeah. I hope the zebras
and a
don't
layup
matter.
here and there.
I hope we're not talking about the refs next Sunday. I really do. Because they got a chance at a classic right here. So,
right. And well, I guess that does it from the North Estate Studios. We played you out with some Carly Rae last week. We got a better version this week, and hope you enjoy it. We tend to like this guy a little bit more than probably the 4U, but it's all good. Good night, y'all.
I love you back. My true wish in the well, don't ask me, I'll never tell. I look to you as it felt, and now you're in my way. I trade my soul for a wish, pennies and dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for this, but now you're in my way. Your stare was holding grip, Gina's skin was showing. Hot night, wind was blowing. Where do you think you're going, baby? Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But here's my number, so call me baby. It's hard to look right at you, babe. But here's my number, so call me baby. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But here's my number, so call me baby. And all the other boys try to chase me. But here's my number, so call me baby. Subscribe, and I love you back.